Well, so far it's been a very disappointing outing for India at the Rio Olympics. It's not that our athletes aren't trying, but at the moment the medal tally stands at 0. Abhinav Bindra, Olympic gold medalist and champion, joins us on the program this evening. Abhinav Bindra, wonderful to talk to you again this evening. This time, now that you're back in India, we're just trying to take a moment to look back and reflect on what's gone wrong at these games so far. It's the biggest ever contingent that India has sent, Abhinav, and yet the medal tally is 0. Are you disappointed yourself?
Well, obviously it is disappointing. I mean, I think we have a lot of talent and, we were very unlucky in a few cases. We came really close, but we did not medal. Hopefully we'll have some good news in the next days. But having said that, sport is something where you cannot really dissect it into black and white. Performance in sport, there's a lot of grey in there. Having said that, obviously we have to carefully and calmly, I repeat calmly, look into our preparations and see where we went wrong and see what we can do better, see what the athletes can do better in terms of preparations, see what the federations can do better and see what systems we can put in place so that, the preparation is more holistic in nature. And, it has to be a long-term preparation. You can't just prepare for the Olympics in 1 year. Quite frankly, at the moment, we're in 2016. If we should ideally be preparing our athletes for 2024, the city is not even decided where the 2024 Olympics are going to be held. But the rest of the world is already preparing for the 2024 games. So we have to have a long-term vision if we really want to get anywhere in Olympic sport.
What do you think has gone wrong?
Is extremely competitive.
It is. And according to you, what do you think are the one or two main things that have gone wrong? And you've seen your fair share of how the Indian system works, the way the administration works, the way things are run. According to you, what are the one or two main things where we've just, not been able to push our athletes?
I think, again, it's hard to dissect it, and having the luxury of hindsight, I'd say that we lost a little bit of momentum post the London Games. I think there was a period of time where everything went suddenly quiet after a great performance at London. And in sport, you cannot afford to lose even one single day. The Olympics come in 4 years, but for the athlete, it's every day, which is extremely crucial. And I think we lost a little bit of time. We lost a year or maybe even more in that period. And I think that shows. In the last 6-7 months, there was a lot of activity in the government. I think the government spent a good amount of money, at the end. But, money cannot buy you medals. It has to be careful preparation. It has to be a long-term preparation. It has to be a preparation which looks performance in a holistic way, which is mental, physical, emotional. All aspects of preparation has to be looked into very, very carefully and planned for a sustained period of time. There is no magic available. I mean, you can't just pump in resources in the last 5-6 months.
But are you disappointed, Abhinav, when you see now, India's making headlines at Rio for everything except what our athletes are doing, except some of those who have had outstanding performances. So you have the Sports Ministers VVIP behaviour. You have the Haryana Minister Anil Vij, who's spent time at the beach, spent 1 crore of taxpayers' money to go all the way to Rio and hasn't been to any events involving Haryana athletes. He's just come out with a defense on that. Does it disappoint you? Does it anger you when you see the kind of apathy of our sports administrators, whether they're the bureaucrats who run these federations or the politicians?
Of course, it is extremely disappointing, but, I've been involved in sport in India for more than 20 years, and I no longer get angry. I mean, I'm not going to get angry and spoil my own health for these reasons. It's something which happens every time, and, that's the way it is. Of course, to change it, we need a complete overhaul, I think. We need more professionals looking into sport. I believe there are many people who are doing a great job in Indian sport administration. but we generally need an overall change, and we need more professionals coming in. We need more experts coming in who look into the performance aspect of sport and are given a free hand to take decisions, and given a free hand and their work not interfered with by people who have absolutely no idea about sport.
So you're saying get the politicians out. You're saying get the politicians out of sports, running sports federations. Is that the answer? Getting professionals in, getting the politicians out?
Well, I have no problem with a politician if he can bring something to the table, if he can bring resources onto the table, if he can do something positive for the sport. There is no problem in having anybody from any walks of life. At the end of the day, it's sports politics. Whether we like it or not, you have to win an election to get elected, and when there's an election involved, it's politics. So you have to reconcile to that reality, but. We also need experts in place. We need the right people doing the right job. And the politician may head the federation, but he must appoint a CEO or a high-performance expert to look into the preparation aspect, to look into the performance aspect, and not interfere. Please don't interfere on aspects which you have no idea about. Delegate. Hire the best people in the world. If that expertise doesn't exist in India, get the best people from outside. And honestly telling you, it's already too late to get people from outside, because people are already, the best people in the world are already hired for the next 4 years. We are too late, unfortunately. Let's look at 2024 realistically.
Abhinav, one of the things you said when we interviewed you from Rio last week was that you made an appeal to corporate India to open up its vaults and invest more in Indian sport. Do you really think that that could make a big difference in the way sports administration is run in this country?
Well, I think corporates need to get involved for sure. I think, what is the biggest missing link in Indian sport is that there are absolutely no resources, facilities or know-how available to the grassroots in India. And, it's the grassroots level which is the most neglected part, is the most important part in performance in sport, because when a 9 or 10-year-old child starts to play a sport, that is the time when he or she lays his foundation. That's the time when habits are formed, and if the habits are formed in a wrong way, if he learns the wrong technique, it's always going to be a fight. And we need to invest resources right at the grassroots level. The government of India spends money, but the money does not infiltrate down to the grassroots. It's only for the elite, and we need to put more resources for the grassroots. And having said that, we also need to bring in more resources in terms of sports science, sports medicine, and all those areas of high-class expertise for the elite into India. And that requires huge amount of resources. And yes, I think it has to be a government and government-private partnership which would work, because look at the rest of the world. I mean, for the United States, the U.S. government doesn't even spend $1 for the Olympic team. It's all corporate sponsorship that the USOC generates.
Yeah, you've announced your own retirement, but can we see you contributing something to sports administration, infrastructure? There's a lot that I'm sure you can do personally. Do you have any plans?
I wish I had the resources available. If I had a lot of wealth, I would donate 90% of that wealth to sport in India. But unfortunately, I do not have that wealth. But I'd like to contribute. I'd like to contribute by sharing my experiences and my knowledge. I think that is the only thing that I can do at this juncture. I can't get into sports administration. To get into sports administration, I need to become a politician. And I'm too thin-skinned at the moment, at least as of now, to get into that world.
All right, well, at least you're frank. You're saying that if you have to wield any influence in Indian sport, unfortunately, it would be by becoming a politician. Abhinav Bindra, thank you very much for joining us on the program today and being as frank as ever with your views on the state of Indian sport today. Thanks very much.